Justin Eno. I'm here with
Sabrina Giordano.
and this is the Hunterdon Central Red Devils varsity gymnastics team in their match against the Watchung Hills Warriors. So gymnastics.
Yeah, so first up, we're going to go to vault, and I think Hunterdon Central is going to start off. And each team sends up about 5 girls, and they do it in order of like difficulty. So they do least difficult to most difficult. So first up, we have Trisha Balsiero.
Trisha, and is she really good, or?
She's pretty up there. She's pretty good for our team. She did make varsity. She has one of our new varsity leotards. And she should be doing a half on, half off.
And what grade is she in?
She is a sophomore.
A sophomore on varsity?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
She was on JV her freshman year. And yeah, have you ever seen vault before?
I have. I watched the footage of the against Bridgewater from last year.
Okay.
It was very impressive. The Hunterdon Central team is very, very skilled. And
Yeah,
it looks
and
like they put a lot of time and dedication into their work.
And each year we get new girls. We get old
Oh,
girls.
here she comes.
There was a little step on her landing,
She's
but
in
she
my
still
science
has
class.
one more try. When you vault, you get 2 tries, and then the judges take the highest score out of the 2 vaults.
So I did watch all the footage, but I still don't really understand how the scoring works.
It's all based on difficulty. When it comes to high school gymnastics, they really care about your form and technique. So they look for straight legs, pointed toes, block off the table.
Oh,
So let's see
here
what
she
she
comes.
does.
And she vaults, and she lands it.
That was much better
a
than her
step?
first one. Her step was less.
She
They
gets
take
points
the
off for a
degree.
step, right?
She does, but it depends on the size. The one before was a bigger step, so she got more taken off.
So they average both and then choose the higher one?
Out of the 2 scores, but since there's 2 judges, they take both of the scores and then meet in the middle. So it's not a biased opinion. See how they're holding up 2 scores?
I cannot see the scores, but I'm sure they're very impressive.
Now this is Amaya, and she is doing the same thing that Trisha did. And no steps, but she
Wow,
did
that was
bend her
very
chest.
impressive. What a save.
She did bend her chest, though, so that will be a deduction, but otherwise it was a very good vault. Amaya is one of our stronger vaulters. She's consistent.
I know she was
Has
on
good
varsity
form.
last year.
I think she did a couple things varsity last year.
She definitely did vaulting last year. I saw her in the video.
Yes, she's very good at vault. She did take a step on her second one, so they will most likely score her first one and average out that score from there. And then next we have Caitlin. She's a sophomore.
Another sophomore.
Yes, she was on varsity freshman year on beam. But this is her first varsity meet as on vault.
Now, if I had to choose one for being the scariest, I would definitely choose beam.
Beam's very
Beam looks
scary.
like it takes
Beam's not my favorite.
a lot of
Caitlin's
skill.
gonna do a half on, full off. So, and she's very consistent with these. So we should say she did take a step, but with a harder skill like that, it's more common. But she still has one more try to try and get no steps.
Well, she's getting ready for a second jump here.
She is, and the judges are almost done.
How many judges are there? 2 or 3?
There's 2. And
Just
for
like last
JV, there's only 1. Good job, Caitlin.
Now, would you say it's better to have 1 or 2 judges?
It depends, because when there's 2 judges, they average out that score and they come together, but when there's 1 judge, it's just 1 opinion. So I guess it's good to have an opinion.
Yeah, everyone should want a second opinion.
Yeah, just with everything. And now this is Bryn. She is probably our strongest vaulter, and she's doing a half on, full off, just like Caitlin. And Bryn is a senior.
A senior?
Yes.
First senior we've seen?
Yeah, we only have 2 seniors this year.
For the
Bryn
entire
and
team or
Steph
vaulting?
Tack. For the entire team.
Wow.
Yeah, so we should see a very good vault by Bryn.
Another step. but
She
that's
has her
fine.
good form.
That was-
She has straight legs, pointed toes.
that was a
Just
very
the
good vault.
landing. Yeah, it's very good. And now she's going back to do her second one.
Walking down. Judges are totaling the score.
And then they don't show the score until she's done with both of her vaults. So here she goes.
Now, what did you say this move was?
Good job, Bryn. It was a half on, full off. So she does basically a round off onto the vault, and then she does a full spin before she hits the floor. Now, this is Sarah Rothmich. She is a freshman.
Oh, a freshman.
And she helps the team a lot. She's very strong for her team. And she's doing the same thing Bryn and Caitlin did, a half on, full off. And she's very clean when she comes to her skill. So you'll notice her legs will be straight, her toes will be pointed.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, she's very, very good at vault. Vault is one of her stronger apparatuses. And now she's walking back to do her second vault. And the judges are still talking.
The vault seems like it takes endless practice.
What was that?
The vault seems like it takes endless practice.
It does. It's all about practice. Good job, Sarah.
I don't think I'd ever be able to bring myself to do vault.
It's very scary.
It looks quite terrifying.
It is. And then that's all for Hunterdon Central.
That's all?
So now they're going to switch settings and springboards and mats because not everyone competes on the same settings. So we compete, our vault, we have it on setting 5. So that's just like the height and everything. I think they compete on a 6. And they have much more difficult skills than us, but when it comes to high school gymnastics, form is what matters more than difficulty sometimes.
It's all in the form.
Yes, form is very important.
I was for a second there, I thought she was about to jump.
They just warm up to make sure their steps are correct, because we put a tape measure out by the vault. And it shows like where we start, so every place we go we know where we need to start, so we're not running endlessly to figure out where we need to start.
So do you get a penalty if you accidentally step off the mat?
No, we don't really get penalties, we just get deductions.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
So like nobody's really stepped off the mat because it is wide and we're just running down it. It's not like we're doing flips on it. But
yeah, it seems like it'd be hard to step off.
Yeah, say you miss the vault though, like your hands miss the vault, you get a very big deduction.
And probably a lot of pain.
Probably. But it does affect your score a lot, every single deduction you get. So you want to try and be as clean as possible.
Gymnastics is a game of perfection.
Exactly. So this is the first step for Watchung.
Now this was amazing on camera, but it's even more amazing in person.
So she just did a half on, half off, and it was very well executed. And she still has one more try. And now she's going back for her second try.
So is it 5 girls for each event, or is each event different?
That's the maximum we can put up is 5 girls, and then they take the top 3 scores from each event to equal to the team total.
Now, is there a maximum of times a girl can go, or can they put one girl
2.
on each one?
Oh, well, a girl can compete on every event, but on vault, she can only go twice. And that was much better. But the thing is, if you have, for example, say Cassie, who did go on vault for JV, they would not be able to put her on varsity vault because she did contribute to the JV vault score. So you can only compete one event per like level, if that makes sense.
I see. I think that seems fair.
Yeah, it's so like you don't have your varsity girls vaulting for JV and varsity.
Yeah, that would be pretty annoying if you decided
it
to put your
wouldn't be
varsity
fair.
girls on both teams.
So this is another Watchung warrior. She did a half on, half off. And with gymnastics, you can't start or finish until you present to the judge, because that's like a way of saying I'm ready to go when you start, and then when you're done, it's like I'm done. If you don't present,
they just did that for show.
Oh no, it's for the judge. And if they don't do it, the judge takes the amount of steps because it can, like, you technically didn't land. And she's going to do the same thing. See how she presented to the judge? That's what you have to do for gymnastics.
I thought people just chose to do that.
No.
I had no idea that that was actually mandatory.
You learned something new today.
Learn something new every day.
And
Here
then
comes another warrior getting ready to.
yes, we
vault
normally
off.
go like team by team. We don't split it up, but they go in the order of lowest difficulty to highest difficulty too.
So how many different moves are there for vaulting, and just each in general? Is there like
There's-
a ton, or is there just like 5
You
or 6
can-
for vaulting?
There is a ton. You can even make up your own vault if you're very good.
Wow, making up your own.
Yeah,
That would get you some nice scores with the judges.
it would, as long as it's neat. But you can literally do anything you can think of.
But you have to touch the.
You have
touch
to
the thing.
run down the runway, jump on the springboard, at least put a hand on the vault, and be able to land on the mat. You can't just skip over something.
Not only does this seem like it takes a lot of skill, it also seems very physically challenging.
It is.
Most people don't seem to recognize that gymnastics is actually really hard.
I know.
Most athletic people assume that gymnastics is but a joke.
So Jenna just
She had a
did.
fall there, but
She
that was
just
a very
did-
nice jump.
Yes, it was one of the most difficult vaulting skills there is moving forwards. Other skills you see they're moving backwards, but she did a front handspring front tuck, which was a forward moving skill, and you need to be able to snap your body and drive your heels in order to successfully get all the way around. So she's going to take her second try and see if she can land it. Hopefully she can.
Now, what events did you do before you were injured?
I did everything. It's just for a while I was only doing bars because that didn't use my legs, and I broke my foot over the summer, and then
Oh.
I had a torn tendon for a year almost. That was very
Now, that
good.
was very good. She managed to land that one. I'm sure she's going to get a nice score from the judges.
She most certainly will.
What do they call that move?
There's technical terms for it, but we just call it front handspring front tuck, because she does a front handspring onto the vault and then she just does a front tuck off. There's like a more classified term for it, but some of the names are very like strange. So she did get a very good score. She got a 9.1, and that is very high for gymnastics. The highest you can go is a 10.
Wow.
So this vaulter is very excelled at vaulting. She's going to be doing a Yurchenko.
I used to laugh at gymnastics, being like, this is easy. But then I did do it for about a year, and I have watched the footage, and, well, I don't think if you stuck a football player on the vault,
They would not be able
he
to-
would not be playing football anymore.
Exactly, that's for sure.
She's adding another mat there.
So she's doing a layout Yurchenko, her coach just said. So they put a hand mat down because it's regulation for when you have to put your, so she's going to do a round off onto the springboard, then a back handspring onto the vault, and then a layout afterwards. So this should be very good.
Is this one of the more skilled moves in
Yes,
gymnastics?
definitely.
Whoa, oh my. She fell off the mats.
It's okay.
But overall, that
it was
was
a very good skill.
probably the
You'll-
most impressive thing we've seen all day.
You'll even see them in the Olympics sometimes.
I can see why.
Exactly.
That
it's
looks like
very
it,
good.
it takes an extremely skilled, dedicated athlete to perform.
It does, definitely. So she's going to try her second try. The second turn's not mandatory.
I think you should always take it.
Everybody normally does, unless you did the skill very well.
There's no harm in trying. You can always do it even more very well.
Mhm. Definitely. So let's see if she can land it.
Here she comes. And she landed it.
That was very good. And that's it for vault, and now
I expect
we are
some nines on
going
that
to
one.
bars. So now we are at bars, and Watchung is going to go first because you set the bars to how you need the bars, so they already have their bars setted, so it's going to take less time now. Bar routines normally start with a kip, which you just saw, and then a requirement is a release skill, which you just did, and a change in direction. Those are requirements. So are handstands, and being able to go from the low bar to the high bar is all requirements. So she just did a free hip handstand toe off.
I'm already speechless.
And she did fall, but it was a very clean and good routine on her part. She was able to go from high bar to low bar multiple times, which was very good. And they're setting the bars again because they need it.
Gymnastics seems like a very hassle to set up.
It is. We used to have to move the bars to the middle of the gym, which took almost an hour to do. So we stopped doing that.
Now, why is there all that white powder on the pads?
It's called chalk. We use chalk to help our grip and everything. We put water. We use grips. So grips are almost like gloves in a sense. And then we spray it with water, and then we put chalk on to help like traction and our grip and everything.
So how much harder is it to do without the grips?
It's very hard because your hands slip off. The grips, like they help you hold onto the bar, so you're able to do free hips, giants, and a bunch of skills.
So you were injured right now.
I am injured.
How did you end up getting injured?
Well, I broke my foot the day before my state competition, and I still competed on my broken foot, so it was just a mess after a while. And then before I broke my foot, I did have a torn patellar tendon in my knee, and that just never healed because I went from being on crutches for the knee to being on crutches for my foot, and they're both completely different legs, so my knee just got worse and worse.
That does not sound like a fun adventure.
It's not at all, and it's been torn for almost a year now.
So you haven't been able to do any gymnastics this year?
I've been able to do bars because, as you saw, we don't really use our feet that much. And yeah, I've basically been doing bars for the longest time. I haven't done floor, haven't done vault in a while.
Did you used to do both of those?
I normally do everything because I also do a club team in Westfield called Surgeons, and I go there. It's a 45-minute drive for me, but it's worth it. I go there almost every other day. And
That's
we have
what I call
to do
dedication.
everything.
A 7.75 and a 7.70 are the scores for this girl.
It's not 7.70, we just say 7.7 because we do it by tenths and everything.
I would
So
say
now-
7.75 though, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, well, now I know.
And now this girl is starting on the high bar, and she's
Wow.
going to do a release move to get her to the low bar. So,
Now I heard of vault. I'm gonna guess that they use vaults to get up there.
so that was her release move. And now
that-
she's going back to the high bar. She's going to do some giants.
And she seems to be preparing for a dismount.
After this one, she will do a double back.
Oh, she fell. But overall, very nice performance.
It was very good. Very hard skills.
Now the judges need to total their scores.
They do, and then they're going to compare them to make sure they're both right. And then they will flash the scores, and then once they flash the scores and the judges are ready, we'll move on to the next girl. And Watchung said they only have 3 girls, but Central does have 5 girls for bars.
Chalk seems to get everywhere.
It does, especially when you're doing gymnastics. It gets everywhere. It gets from head to toe.
Like
in
somehow
your
it
hair.
ended up on the judge's seat.
Yeah, it's just everywhere. It flies, it sticks to you. Even after you shower, sometimes it's still on you. It just never leaves. That's the only annoying thing about bars, but
Now bars seems like it'd be at least one of the most scariest events here.
bars
Especially
is
the
pretty
high bar.
scary. I would say beam is scarier though.
Yeah, I guess rolling around on a skinny little bar would be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it's very terrifying. Beam's my least favorite event. I don't like beam at all.
It looks interesting and very high skill, but
It is. You have to have very good balance behind beam. But for bars, it's all about upper body strength. Because it's very easy to see a deduction on bars because you have all free leg space. It's not like there's other distractions going on. It's just you and the bars. So there's always something to do. And there's always something new to progress to. There's always a higher skill than what you can do. So you never really stop learning up bars. You're always learning new skills, whether it's just working on your form or working on getting like higher power skills.
So on bars, how are these routines made? Is it made by you working with the coach, or do you just make these yourself?
You look into the gymnastics book, and it tells you all the requirements, so you fulfill all the requirements, and then your coach like looks and sees what you can and can't do, and then she does what will be best for you. So like normally you want to have like a good routine that has solid form and like solid skills, and you want to be able to get all those bonus points.
And the scores are ready?
Yes, they'll show it to us in a second.
We've got an 8.3 and an 8.
An 8-0.
8-0.
So now
And
this
here
is
goes
the last girl from Watchung.
She looks like she's very skilled. Now that's... Ooh, she fell.
She did fall.
Seemed like good sports.
she
They're
does
just laughing it off.
Very good.
You get 2 tries?
You don't get 2 tries. It counts as a fall, but you are timed when you fall.
And that's put in the score?
Yes, it's a very big deduction on bars. So you do have like 45 seconds to chalk up, to recuperate and everything.
Here she goes again. Is she preparing for it? Looks like she's preparing for dismount.
It looks like she is, yes.
It looks
And
like
she should be doing a
it
double.
seems that whenever they spin around like that.
Yes. And that dismount's a very uncommon dismount. It was just a layout half out of a giant.
So that looked like it was a very neat dismount.
Yes, it was.
I don't think I saw a step, but
She did not take a step, but the fall on the bars was a very big deduction.
I guess falling on bars would be a pretty big deduction.
It's almost like falling on beam. So now Watchung, they finished everything, so now Hunterdon Central's gonna go, and we need to set the bars to how we practice to them, because we can't redo, like we can't like practice on a level that we don't know. So we want to be as best prepared as we can be.
Yeah, I guess each team would practice differently.
Yeah, so we need to set the bars to how we need it, and we almost need a whole team to do it because it's just so much. You have to loosen everything, and then you have to raise and lower and make wider or smaller just to be perfect, and they have to make sure they're both parallel and even, which takes a very long time, but
This seems as much of a hassle as rolling up wrestling mats.
it is, yes. So after a while, they get done. The Big J, who's our coach, that's her nickname, we call her Big J. She looks to make sure the bars are even with each other, and then once they are, we can start. And first up should be Trisha. I'm not positive.
Oh, Trisha's coming back?
Yes, she is. She comes back on floor too. On floor.
So we're having 5 girls?
Yes, we do have 5 girls. We normally put 5 girls up on every event just for our benefit, because they pick 3 out of the 5, so maybe someone's having an off day or someone's having...
Here are the scores?
Yes, we'll see in a second.
A 7.95 and an 8.05.
Yes. So those are pretty good scores for her bar routine, for a fall and hitting her feet. So she did get a pretty good score.
Now, these bars seem like sturdy, but they also look like they shake a lot when you're using them.
They do shake only because... Actually, I don't know why they shake.
It looks like it's just not...
It almost helps you to your
sturdy.
advantage. It gives you like almost like a little push when you're doing your uprises or giants or anything.
It kind of looks like it adds to the fear factor.
It
When you're on
does
bars
almost.
and it's shaking, it looks like it make you nervous. Because you don't want to be on bars when they fall over.
True. That's a good point. Sometimes other bars are like older than others, so they're more shaky. And then it just gets too hard to a point. So I think our bars are pretty good. And now this is Caitlin. She is a sophomore, and she will be starting off the Hunterdon Central Devils.
You have an abundance of sophomores on your team.
We do.
They're all very skilled. Both seniors are on varsity, correct?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
They both have been a part of HC Gymnastics for their 4 years of high school.
That was very impressive.
Yes, Caitlin had a very
Looked like that was a very
routine.
perfect routine.
It was very good on Caitlin's
It was
behalf.
short and sweet.
Exactly.
How much of a hassle is to get the chalk off?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It never comes off. It's always on your clothes. It's always on you.
It seems
everywhere.
like the feet take it the worst.
I would say the thighs because
Really?
they're always touching the bar no matter what skill you're doing. If you watch on Bryn, you'll see how her thighs are just always touching the bar. During your
So I'm gonna
kip,
guess
her
that means Bryn is
uprises. So you'll see that. This is Bryn Pfletcher-Schweer, and she is a senior. And she has been a big part of HC Gymnastics for 4 years.
Now, what is the material of the grips made of? Is that plastic or
It's not
cloth?
plastic. I think it's leather.
Ooh, leather.
And then what you do is you put your middle finger and your ring finger into the 2 holes that are there. And then it just like rests on the middle of your hand, and it also prevents rips, which is when like your calluses open up.
Oh God.
And then you just wrap it around your wrist, and then you just chalk up, and
So
you wear
are-
wristbands to protect your wrist.
So are callus common among gymnastics?
Yeah, you get them from bars.
Yeah.
So if you watch, you'll see how Bryn's always touching the bar
Yeah.
somehow. But when she does her next skill, a free hip,
Yep.
you're not
Yep.
supposed to
There
touch
they
the bar
are.
at all, which is a very hard skill to do, but after a lot of practice, you get the hang of it. It was a very clean routine by Bryn.
No steps, no bounce.
No steps.
You don't have to present to the judges on this one? Oh, we got
She
a
did.
7.05 and a 6.9.
That was from the girl before. Bryn did present to the judge.
I didn't notice.
You normally just do it as soon as you land. And now
Here's Trisha.
this is Trisha, the sophomore.
She's in my science class.
Yeah, she does. The last competition, I was in the varsity bar lineup. But since I did get my shots yesterday, my doctor instructed for me no physical activity, anything.
And what kind of shots were they?
It's called prolotherapy. It's like a new study. They just put cornstarch into my knee, and it's supposed to like help the tendon come back together, which it hasn't done yet. I've got it done 4 times on my knee. So I'm hoping this would have to be the last one, but I go back in 3 weeks to see.
And does it just hurt, or is it just there? Is it just an injury that exists?
It hurts a lot, and it hurts in new places.
That sounds
It's always hurting.
unfun. I've never hurt myself bad in sports.
You're lucky.
And
Yeah,
I'm very
gymnastics
lucky.
is very injury prone.
I'm very durable. I've dropped many things on my head. I've landed on my head. I've had my leg bent weird, but I never
Ooh.
get injured.
That's good though.
I've had someone body slam my knee.
Ooh. Yeah, with gymnastics, if you ask someone, are they hurting? They'll tell you they're either hurting their back, their knee, their ankle, their wrist.
I'm gonna imagine straightening out as a sport hurts your back.
Yes, I have a very bad back from the sport. And now Trisha is going to her high bar now,
And there she goes.
and we should see.
Looks like she's preparing for a dismount. Moving
Yes, she is.
Moving very quickly.
She is, and now here comes her dismount. That was very good.
Stepped, but that was very nice.
It was a very good routine by Trisha.
So the next score will be.
The next
Brits?
score we'll see will be Bryn's,
Brits,
because
not Brits. Sorry.
we don't really show scores when other girls are going, so it's not a distraction. We just wait. And now Sarah's going to go. She's a freshman,
Freshman.
and she's a very big contributor to our team.
She was the one who did vault, correct?
Yes. Bars is one of her weaker events, but she's still very good at
Judging
bars.
by her performance in vault, I'm gonna guess a weaker performance is still excellent.
It's pretty good, yeah. I would say so. And other judges, they're finishing up their scores now, and if you can see, they're talking on if they have the right information and everything. Sometimes it's hard to record a whole bar routine by yourself
Yeah.
within the 20 seconds you have to watch it.
It seems hard to judge.
It does. There's a lot of rules you need to remember. It's just
I feel
very
like
hard.
you might wanna. I feel like it'd be a good idea to like record the show so that if you need to, you can go back
Like
to
playback.
it.
That would be a good idea, yeah.
So you don't have to just go off memory, so you can make sure you're getting your score right.
Yeah.
But as long as there's skill, I mean, she's starting and we've got the scores as 7.20 and 6.8. I said 2.0.
And now Sarah just did a toe shoot, which is her release move.
And she's going at the high bar. And when you go to the high bar, are you allowed to go back to the small bar?
You can, yes. We call it the low bar, not the
low
small bar.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you can go back and forth. The more you do that, the more points and credit you get.
Getting a lot of encouragement
That
from
was
her
very
team.
good by Sarah.
That was a very impressive performance.
It was.
Getting a lot of cheers. I could barely hear you. This is a lot of team enthusiasm.
It definitely is, yeah. Now Cassie's going. She is the JV captain. And Steph Tack is the varsity captain.
So she didn't participate in JV?
Which one? No,
JV
she's
captain?
the JV captain. She does participate in JV. And since she's a junior, that's why she does JV captain. And since
like
Steph's
being
a
a JV
senior,
captain.
she's a varsity captain.
She looks like she's preparing.
Yes, and then our coach is fixing her bow over there. That's Big J. Everything has to be perfect, so.
Wait, has each girl been wearing a bow? I haven't been noticing.
You don't have to wear a bow. It just makes everything look prettier. So.
Uniform is probably very important to presentation.
It is, as you can see. The leotard Cassie's wearing, that's our varsity leotard.
Very flashy.
Yes, they're brand new this year.
There you go. Oh, on the scores.
So
7.6.
And a 7.9.
7.9. 7.9. Very impressive scores. Oh, there she goes.
She's doing her
fall yet.
Which is very good. Now she's going to do a free hip. See how her hips did not touch the bar? That's why it's called a free hip.
Wow.
Now she's going to do a kip, and then another kip, and then her dismount. It was
must
a
be-
very well executed routine.
You must be very good at gymnastics to be able to tell what they're going to do just by the form of their body.
You just know after a while. You learn your teammates' routines. And now we're going to beam. This is Liz from Hunterdon Central, and she's a freshman this year.
Wow.
She's never competed.
Another freshman?
Yeah, she's
never
never
competed?
never competed varsity beam.
Ah.
As you can see, she's wearing the JV leotard.
That was
So-
an almost fall.
So that will be a deduction because she did wobble. But Liz has very good form, and she has the connections.
Wow.
And the handstand back walkover, it's
I-
a requirement to have a skill connected and everything.
I have never seen in person someone bend their body like that.
Really?
Yeah, just the first varsity gymnastics meet I've ever been to. Especially coming from
Yeah.
a freshman.
Yeah, she's very skilled.
Is this
When it
her
co-
one competition or event?
It's her one varsity event. She does everything else JV.
Oh.
And you can see that she's wearing a knee brace. She does have ostrich slaughter in her left knee, which is very common for gymnasts.
That was very
And that was a
impressive.
very good routine for her first varsity beam
Short
routine.
but sweet.
Exactly. That's how most beam routines are, because you are actually timed when you do your beam routine. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. If you fall, they stop the clock, and then you get 30 seconds to recuperate and to make sure you're all good and everything. And then once you start movement on the beam again, they restart it from where you left off. And then at 1 minute 20 seconds, they give you a warning, and then that means you have 10 seconds to dismount. And if you don't dismount in time, they take off a tenth for every second you went over 1 minute 30.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's a lot to keep in mind. You have to make sure you're on time, you're doing your skills the best you can.
As I said before, lots of variables.
Exactly. Anything could go into effect to the score.
As I said before again, this is a sport of perfection.
Exactly.
They're
So-
off getting another mat.
Yeah, now
Looks like they're going to put that instead of the light blue mat.
maybe.
Or no, they're putting it over there.
But now on beam, we're gonna put a central girl, and then we're gonna have a Watchung girl. So we're
Ah.
gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna see if this goes quicker. So then we can
First
tell
time
on
you're doing
floor.
this?
Doing what?
switching, alternating?
We do it sometimes. We normally, for vault and bars, we normally do one team at a time because of the different settings. For beam, you can't change the setting. There's a specific height it has to be at, and the mat has to be a specific length. For floor, you can't change the floor. You can just add mats, but you can't take away mats. You can't make it smaller. You can't make it bigger. So that's why we're probably going back and forth.
Whoa. Oh, she saved
And
it.
she just did do her connection, which was back walk over, which was very nice.
Now,
and
what is a connection?
a connection is when you do your tumbling skills. Like, say you want to do a cart. Do you know what a cartwheel is?
Yeah, I know the cart. I used to be able to do one.
You do a cartwheel. But in between that,
she fell.
you can't move any of your feet. It has to be like immediately one after each other. So normally with cartwheel, you only land with one foot and then just use the other foot to go into your other cartwheel. And that is
jump.
a requirement.
A spin?
Yes, you need your bonus high jumps would be like a tuck full where you do a tuck jump, but you spin all the way around and land where you started. And another requirement is to be on the beam, like physically, besides standing on it. So what she just did with her laying on the beam was her just like fulfilling her requirements to make sure she gets the best score she can.
Whoa.
And then that was a round off. That is another requirement to have a skill that involves flight. So in one point in a round off, her arms and feet were both off of the beam. So other skills like that would be back tucks, back handsprings, front tucks,
Now,
which
why
we
did
will
she spin
see.
that to the side? Oh, that's why.
Because
The side dismount.
yes, you can dismount from the side, you can dismount from the back.
Now, which would get you more points?
It doesn't really matter. It really matters on form. They're equal the same. It's just on what she's more comfortable. So now we do have Emily Wilson she's a sophomore and she's from Hunterdon Central.
So
And
it seems mega props have to go out to the coaches. They seem to have memorized their kids' routines as well.
yes, you have to, because it's very important. Like, say the coach forgot to move her mat, she still would have had to have done it, but she would have landed on the purple mat and she probably would have gotten a severe injury. And then our athletic trainer, Mr. P, would have had to come.
Mr. P.
Yes, he's our athletic trainer. If we need like taping, icing, heat, any type of treatment, like I go to him before every practice.
I might have him as the wrestling guy, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was the same guy. I haven't had him in about a half
Yeah,
a year.
he stays in this building.
I've never had to see him.
That's good though. He only helps the people that are injured, so I guess it's better off if you don't go to him if you're not injured. It just shows that you're healthy. And Emily's routine, she's very clean. She doesn't have that
You
many.
said she was a sophomore?
Yes, she is a sophomore. She does have the requirements she needs. She does go on the beam. She does have a connection. She does have her skill in flight. So it all really depends if she can land the skill, if she doesn't fall off the beam, and if she's able to meet the requirements to the best of her ability.
Is that the score that she's showing over there?
No, it's not. She's just holding it up because she just doesn't want to drop it because the flashers break very easily. So we have to be very careful with it.
No, I don't think I was paying much attention. I don't think I've seen them hold up a score.
They haven't yet. I don't think so, at least. They might have.
If they did, we apologize. We did not notice. But the camera is facing directly at them, I think.
True.
I can't see.
So now let's see what Emily can do.
Wow.
Emily's very flexible, so she
Oh
does do
my.
a split on the beam.
I'm wincing in pain just looking at this.
Splits come naturally to gymnasts, and Emily, she loves dance, so you can see how she's very
Looks like some
perfectionist. Like
ballet skill going on there.
Exactly. She finishes all her skills. And if you saw, her feet did not move between her skills, so they were connected, which is a bonus.
She doesn't even look like she's slipped up yet.
She looks very confident on the beam, which is very good.
Looks like this is something that she's extremely comfortable with. Oh, nope.
And she was able to save it. That was her first time doing her round off in a beam routine, so very good that she
Have
landed.
you ever seen anyone do a flip on these beams?
Yes, you will see a lot of flips when you get to Watchung. And you'll see 2 flips, one from Steph and the other one from Sarah, the freshman.
Now, what is happening here? Oh.
That's a backwards roll. It's another requirement to go backwards when tumbling on the beam. Backwards roll is for people who have bad backs and can't do a back walkover or too scared to do back handspring. So backwards roll is kind of like the go-to backward skill.
I can see why you'd be scared to do a back handspring.
And that was a very good routine by Emily. Very well.
Now, was that a flip, or would you call that a half off?
It's just a back tuck off the
Back
beam.
tuck
It's just
off.
a
Alright.
dismount. It's like a simple.
I'm just kind of trying to throw terms in there. To
Yeah,
sound like
it's
I know
just
what
a
I'm
back
talking
tuck
about.
off the beam, and she stuck the landing for the most part, which was good. And now we're gonna have Watchung go. I don't know how many girls they have going this time, but
They have a limit of 5, a minimum of 3.
Um, it's not really a minimum. It's however many goes you have, but normally minimum would be 3 because they take 3 scores. But if you only have 2, they would take the 2 scores and then find a way to meet in the middle. And now she is from Watchung, and she was very good on bars and vault. So in store, we probably do have a very good beam routine coming up.
Yeah, I recognize her hair.
Yeah.
Her hair's very recognizable.
I guess so. But
Probably safer to bunch up your hair like that.
It is, definitely.
You
I
don't want
used
that
to
getting
have
in your
very
eyes.
long hair. I just cut 13 inches off of my hair.
That is a lot of inches.
It is a lot. And then before I cut my hair, I would always get my hair stuck under my hands and be pulling out my hair. So it's easier if you have short hair if you put it up just to keep it out
I
of the way.
tried to grow a mullet once.
Oh.
It didn't go well.
How'd that go?
Because my hair grows up instead of down.
Oh, okay.
It's like I was forming a mini afro.
Oh.
So I was like, nah, I'll keep it short.
But the worst feeling in the world is just waiting for the judge, because all your anxiety's building up. You're getting super nervous.
Yeah.
As you can see, she's like clamping her hands because she's so nervous.
I'm gonna guess the adrenaline builds up right before you get on, and if you're sitting there waiting for the judges, you're gonna just realize
But
that I'm about to get on a skinny bar and tumble around.
She looks very confident, which is very good, which is what you need for beam. Where
You've been seeing an amazing performance from both teams so far.
yes,
And it seems like it's going to be, we've got an 8.1 and an 8.05.
Yes.
I don't know what girl that's for, but it might.
That was
might be.
for Emily.
Yeah, it might be. She did seem like she deserved those scores.
Yeah. Normally
Very
on
high.
beam, girls want quiet so they can focus, but other girls want cheering so like they don't have to think about what they're doing too much. I know I prefer cheering, so because I get super nervous, I start shaking. And that was a back tuck. So she did a switch leap back tuck, which is a very, very good scoring skill. And it's very hard to do.
Doing excellent on this high bar.
It's a beam,
Beam.
but it's okay. We were just at bars.
I had high bars on the mind.
It's okay.
And it does kind of
And
look
now
like a
here
high
comes
bar.
your dismount.
But oh, whoa.
And she did a front layout. She did have a step at the end.
I wasn't
but
ready for her to
otherwise
start sprinting.
It was a very clean routine, and it was a very good routine on Watchung's behalf. And now we have Caitlin for Central, and she is a sophomore. And as you can see, she is wearing the varsity leotard, so she is a more dependable gymnast.
Very, very flashy, as I said before.
Yes, they're brand new. And now they're making sure all the mats are set correctly, so everything's perfect for when she goes.
That is probably very important.
Yes, it definitely is. If things aren't, like, if say a mat's out of place, it might like distract her and she might not be focusing on that. She'll be focusing, oh, if I fall, I'll land on the mat kind of thing.
If you just move that a little too far right, you can end up seriously hurting yourself.
Exactly. But Caitlin, she was on varsity beam freshman year.
She's a sophomore?
Yes, she is. So she is very strong on beam. Her jumps are super high. Her skills are super tight.
Super duper.
Yeah. So she is a very, very talented beam gymnast. So let's see what she has in store for us.
Now, to be a gymnast, do you have to be naturally flexible, or is flexibility something that you can train and practice?
You can work on it because once your muscles, like, say you practice a split and you feel the pain, like, that's your muscles, like, working on loosening up to be able to get lower and lower each time. So when I started out, I was flexible, but then I took a break and I lost all my flexibility. But after a while, you just train, and even if it hurts, you still have to be able to train your muscles to be flexible. So now I am flexible again. And it's very, very key to be flexible when you're a gymnast, so you can move your body in ways that you don't normally do. And you just want to be able to, like, say you're about to fall, you want to be able to, like, use your flexibility to save you from falling or to make your skills look prettier. It's just a good thing to have being a gymnast, because normally when you're not flexible, you're not an overall well gymnast. So now let's see what Caitlin has in store for us.
I also used to be able to do a split.
Nice.
Not anymore.
The girl
The best I
from
could do is
Watchung
split
got
my
an
pants.
8.5 and an 8.6, which is
8.5
very,
and an
very
8.6.
good for beam. So now you'll see some of Caitlin's jumps, how they're very high and very well executed.
Whoa,
She stuck the
that was
landing.
amazing.
And all of her jumps are like that.
Every single one?
Yeah, she has very good jumps and very good tumbling. That was her connection.
The worst I ever had to do was walk on this, and that was terrifying.
Yeah,
Because when you're
very
6,
scary.
any height that distance is like the Grand Canyon.
Exactly, yeah. So Caitlin just fulfilled some of her requirements. She had a full turn. She had a connection. She has bonus jumps. You'll see her backward skill coming up very shortly, and then
Has there ever been a boy on the team?
no, boys gymnastics is very different from girls gymnastics. They have different apparatuses and they have more. Boys gymnastics does not have beam or parallel bars.
I don't know what a
No,
parallel
uneven
bar
bars. Boys do have parallel bars.
Oh.
And they have vault, and they have floor, and they have 2 other events. They have rings. And that was a very good routine by Caitlin, one of her best.
Those jumps were
And there's her
high
team.
and mighty.
Definitely. And it's always good to
I
have
think
your
that
team
was the
supporting
4th
you.
Hunterdon Central girl to go? Or that was 4th
I
or
think
5th?
it was 3rd.
3rd?
Yeah. But when your teams are supporting you, cheering you on, it's a good feeling knowing that like they support you even if you feel like you didn't do a good routine. So being part of a team and like always having teamwork is very important in gymnastics because it is a team sport, but individual.
Have you ever
if that
seen
makes
someone
sense.
get a 10 on their score?
No. But you have seen like 9 5s, which are very, very good for high school gymnastics. Cause
I'm sure because it's high school gymnastics, the scores, the judges go easier than they would in the Olympics.
they
but,
really,
I mean,
it's hard to compare to the Olympics because
an 8.7.
high school gymnastics they do JOGA, which is Jersey Optional Gymnastics Association,
JOGA.
where the Olympics is USAG.
And an 8.75.
It's a very good score.
That was a very good score for a very excellent performance.
Definitely. So now I think this may or may not be the last warrior, but see how she switched her mats for her.
Was it a Warrior or a Hunterdon Central first?
This is a warrior going right now.
Yeah, but who was first? I don't remember. Central? I think it was Central. Because if it was...
I don't remember.
The last one will be a Warren Hills then, if they're alternating.
I know they don't have 5 girls doing beam, so there's a chance they may be done before us, and then we'll just go one after each other. But she's very strong at beam, as you'll see in a second.
Very
You'll
impressive.
See her do higher level skills. And you'll see here she's doing a back handspring layout step out, which is her connection, which is a very scary skill.
Oh my.
That was very good.
I can't even do that when I'm off a high beam.
Those are very scary skills. And she has very good form, so she is going to get a very, very high score.
It looks like she's getting ready to this. Nope.
She's doing
going
a
forward. Wow.
That was a switch leap.
That looked like more ballet.
Almost. We do use a lot of dance when it comes to gymnastics.
Yeah, it seems like they mix together very nice.
Yeah. She's able to use her dance and coordinate it with all of her jumps.
Is there a boys gymnastics team in the school?
There used to be, but they took it away because not enough boys did it.
Yeah, I don't. Most
And
boys
she just
probably
did a
don't
back
do
handspring layout for her dismount, which is she just
that
had a
was
very
very impressive.
it was a very good routine.
And here we go. Another
And now
Hunterdon Central.
this is Sarah Rothmich. She is a
She's the
freshman.
freshman, right?
Yes.
I'm
And
starting
her
to know the team.
good. Yeah.
Only
Comes
her,
in
really.
handy.
Only the people in my grade, or at least the people who went to my school.
Oh, okay.
Maya and Trisha both went to my school.
Oh, you know them?
Yeah.
Did you go to Reddington?
Yeah, we went to Reddington.
Me too. And now Sarah, she's going to do a combination of skills. She's going to do Sassone, she's going to do back handsprings, she's going to do tuck fulls, wolf fulls, a little bit of everything in her
You seem
routine.
to know the team very well. You know exactly what they're going to do
yeah.
and when they're going to do it.
It's all about being a team. You just know each other's routines.
So have you been here since freshman year?
I have. I was varsity freshman year and sophomore year and junior year, but
Glad we chose you as our expert in gymnastics then.
every year I've been injured with some type of leg or back or something injury. Last year I tore my thigh muscle.
Ooh.
And then
that
freshman
sounds
year,
excessively painful.
freshman year I had a herniated disc in my back, so I was not able to compete. And this year I was hoping would be my good year, but
And now how
broke
long
my
into
foot
the
and
year
tore my
does
knee.
gymnastics go?
For us, for our gymnastics season, we end beginning of November, depending on how far we get. So like if there's individual state championships and then there's nationals and everything, but normally we don't really get that far because there's so many other good teams in New Jersey that we just don't compete against.
Now, how many meets would you have here?
We have a bunch of home meets. There's like no set number because sometimes things change. Like sometimes the school can't have a competition due to like inconveniences, so like we are always prepared.
And is this your first meet here?
No, this is our second.
Second.
And on
Did not record
Friday
that
we
one.
have our first away meet. And now Sarah's going to be doing a back handspring step out, and this is a very hard
it looks like
skill.
is that why the
Yes.
coach is standing there?
Good job, Sarah. That was very good.
That looked like very, very well executed.
It is. She's a very well executed gymnast. Those were her
Nice double
Sassons.
jump.
Yeah, they were Sasson. Those are very scary on beam. I used to do those, but then I split the beam. When you
What?
split the beam, one leg goes to one side, the other leg goes to the other, and you fall right in the middle.
Oh,
It's very painful.
that would suck on boys gymnastics.
It would. And then
And
Sarah just did a
dismount.
front layout for
Wow.
a dismount, and it was a very good routine.
I never
No
thought I'd
falls.
see someone with their legs straight out above their head.
Yeah, it was a very good routine.
We're about to see who's up, and another warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, I blanked there for a minute.
Since she's more towards the end, she's probably going to be better on this event. I think I
This is
saw her
probably
warming
the
up
fourth
front
one,
tuck.
meaning that if they don't have 5, this would be the last warrior to go. We have 5 girls, right?
Yes, we do. We have 5 girls and everything. I saw her warming
lot
up.
of
She was
gymnastics.
doing front tucks, and front tucks are very hard skills on the beam. So we were looking at a very high score for her.
Now, do you need to try out for gymnastics, or is it just
Yes,
you
you
sign
do.
up, you get in?
No, we have tryouts. We have a week-long tryouts because
Week.
we do have a lot of girls try out, and we did cut about 5 girls this year.
Ooh, that must have been that's
We
probably
normally
crushing.
cut-
I've never experienced being cut from a team.
Oh, that's good.
It is, but it's because wrestling just takes everyone they put in.
Oh, okay.
And last year, no, not last year, 2 years ago in 8th grade, I did track. Despite being probably the worst kid in 8th grade there, I
Oh.
made the team because I was in 8th grade.
That's good, though.
No, I wasn't very happy. I was like, there's kids in 7th and 6th grade who are faster than me. You should have put them on the team. But it was my only year there, too. So I don't think I should have gotten that extra respect.
So she did just start on
And
the
here we
beam,
go.
and now she's doing her backwards skill, which
Got a little off topic there, but
she just did a backwards roll, and now we should see what else she will be doing. She's doing her
go.
full turn, which is a
more
requirement on the
ballet.
beam.
here we go.
The girl right before us got an 8.4 and an 8.65, which is very good for
Very
beam.
impressive.
Beam is very hard to score. She just
Wow.
did a side aerial.
I did not expect that.
Those are very hard to do on beam.
It's very hard and very scary, it seems.
Yes, definitely.
Seems
because
like
you
half
don't
the
use
stuff you
hand.
do on beam is very scary.
Everything on
Seems like the only
beams.
thing that isn't scary is the walking.
And she's doing it again to try
And
and
she
connect
saved it.
because she needs to connect. And she
Oh
did.
my.
She did
I-
side aerial front tuck, which is very, very hard to do. So she's very good at beam.
I am astounded at how someone can move their body in such a way.
Some people are just naturally good and confident at beam. And there's others who just beam isn't their thing. And she has very strong jumps.
She's
There are-
probably gonna get a very high score for all those flips.
She most likely will. She
Lot of
just needs to
jumps.
add a little bit of height to her jumps.
So if you're
for
on there for
future.
over 1 minute and 30 seconds, you get a 10th deducted. That is correct? If for
You
every second
do.
you're over, you just kind of dismount.
Yes, once they say warning, if you have a lot left, you normally skip what you don't need and you do what you need, and then you dismount from there.
So at what point would they say warning?
And she did fall in her dismount.
That was.
They say warning at 1 minute 20 seconds.
I was very scared. It looked like she was about to hit her head on the bar.
It did,
bar.
but she
bar.
thankfully saved it. It's a beam, yeah.
That's a beam.
She thankfully
It-
saved herself.
I look at it. I see. It looks like a bar. I go, it's a bar, but it's really a beam.
And now we should have
We should
our
have one more girl
captain,
going.
our varsity captain, Steph Tack, going. She is a senior, and she only competes beam and floor. She does not do vault or bars, and she's over there chalking up right now because chalk helps her stay on the beam. Most gymnasts feel like chalk makes them slip, but in Steph's opinion,
she's the varsity captain?
She is the varsity captain. She's been here for 4 years.
I'm very excited to see what she has to offer.
Yes. Hopefully we have very good routine. She is still working new skills, so she is putting some of her new skills in her routine tonight, so we should see.
I won't know what her new skills are, but I will certainly know that they're skills.
Back handsprings, back walkover, a bunch of jumps and leaps. So we should see. She normally has a very good routine. Steph is very flexible, and she uses that in both of her routines.
What's her second routine? The
floor, which we go to next. Yes, because when we do our order, instead of just being like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there, you go alphabetical order starting at the bottom. So you start at vault, then you go to bars, beam, then floor. So once you get to floor, that's your last event, and then we find out the scores, and we clean up the gym, and then we're home.
So that score for the JV, it was like 80-11?
Yeah, because JV only had 2 girls compete on bars, while we had 5 girls in every single event.
So that's why we had like 80 compared to their 11?
Yeah, they both got low.
Now, it seems that these scores are all very even, with a 7 point, I think that's a 7.9.
It's a 7.9 and an 8.05.
I couldn't see it on the angle.
So I
didn't want to get it wrong, because that would be pretty bad.
It's okay. So this is Steph's new skill.
Getting ready. Oh, she fell. It's okay.
It's okay that she fell. She still gets credit for doing the skill. She just doesn't get the connection points, and she does get deducted for the fall. So she is going to find a new way.
Stumble. Oh,
and
there's the split.
Yes. So hopefully the judges don't take too much off, because she is one of our higher scorers, and we do need her good beam score to help with the all-around.
Oh, a jump. Another jump.
So she just did split jump, wolf jump.
At least she didn't do a split the beam.
That's good. She just did a wolf 3/4. She only jumped 3/4 of the way around, which is what you're supposed to do. It's not a mistake. And now she's going to be doing a switch leap tuck full. So she did have very good.
That was impressive. So have you seen all these routines before?
I have. I've seen most of them for 3 years, maybe 2 years.
They do the same routine every year?
Yeah. Normally for high school gymnastics, you keep cartwheel full dismount.
Wow.
You keep the same routine, so you can just get better and better each year, and you want to meet all the requirements.
What a skilled performance in dismount.
And
I'm gonna guess she was the last one up. But
she did. For high school gymnastics, you're not allowed to have your earrings in, and she did keep her earrings in, so she may get deducted for that.
What would that do if you keep your earrings in?
It's just a distraction to the judges, and so is nail polish or any type of excessive makeup.
Decorate yourself?
Not really. The leotard does that.
Just keep your earrings on your leotard.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you have all of the bling that you put on your face out.
Where's she going?
She's very upset that she left her earrings in, because that's a common mistake, and that's such an easy deduction that the judges take.
Well, it's only the second meet of the year.
Exactly, but we want to be able to win as many meets as we can, and we want to keep away from the deductions. So now we are moving to floor. We did complete the beam, and both teams were very successful. So now we should see what floor has in store for us.
Have we seen her score yet?
Not yet. They're still talking about it and seeing if they're both right on their scores. Alright, so now we are starting the floor exercise, and we are starting with Watchung Hills. We are going to go every other girl, and we both have 5 girls. And for floor routines, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Normally your music's about 1:25. And once you get on the floor, your music has to be ready, which her music is not. They're having some issues. So they may deduct her for not having her music ready in time, or they may not, because she is the first girl and it's a new radio and everything. So They're gonna figure it all out.
Well, I was about to ask, is there a time limit? But you
Yes,
managed to
it's a
answer
minute
that
30.
question for me. So
And
is
if
this
you-
routine made the same way that bar and beam is, or is this more
You
of the?
get your routine choreographed, and you have to have a total of 3 tumbling passes. You need to have one that goes front. You need 2 back, and then if you do you see the white lines on the floor?
Yeah.
If you step out of bounds, you get a huge deduction, which affects your score a lot. And she just did a round off handspring back tuck.
This is a very nice song choice.
Yes, and as she's doing her dance, so she seems like a very good dancer, very well put together. But she just has to make sure she doesn't step out of the white lines, or that she fulfills all the requirements. And her music did stop, but if your music does stop, you have to keep going.
That's probably very confusing.
It is. It gets very confusing. Now she just did front handspring, front handspring, front handspring, which is a tumbling pass because it does have 3 elements. So if she only did 2 front handsprings, it wouldn't count as a tumbling pass, and that would have deducted her a lot. And now she does her leaps, which you do need in a routine. And she's about to do her last tumbling pass. You can have a maximum of 3. And then let's see what she does for us. Looks like it's going to be round off, handspring.
You're only allowed to have a maximum of 3 of the same move?
What was that?
Only allowed a maximum of 3 of the same move, or is that a special for the...
No, you have to have 3 tumbling passes.
Oh.
And you have to be able to use the floor. You wouldn't be able to go from the same corner. You have to be able to like show that you can move around and like you know your routine. So she was very good with her dancing. Her tumbling was a little bit lower than other girls on her team, but it was still a very clean routine.
So most song choices probably don't have words in them, right?
If you do have words, you get deducted every word that is said.
Oh.
So you cannot have words in your floor routine, and if you do, it hurts your score a lot.
Geez, judges don't like words, huh?
No, it's just how gymnastics always been, and they don't want to change it. So
Most songs I like have words.
Most songs do. But with floor music, you normally want like an upbeat song, or you want like a very
They won't take off
dancey
points
song.
if you get a song and just use the background music, right?
No, because there's no words in it. But it has to be under a minute and 30 seconds. So now for Hunterdon Central, we have sophomore Janae. And she was on the team last year. And she typically does not do varsity floor, so we should see how she turns out. She does have a very strong floor routine.
It looks like her leotard is different than the other
She
girls.
has the JV leotard because she's typically JV.
That's the JV leotard.
Yes, it is.
That must mean she's very good at this particular event.
She typically is. She's on and off sometimes, but otherwise she's very, very good at this event. And the judges, they normally take longer on floor because they have a minute and 30 seconds to judge. So they are going to take their time. They don't want any mistakes because the coaches will question. And now let's see what Janae can do. She just did a 1.5 full turn. Now she's going to do round off handspring half, hopefully. And yes, she did do her half.
That was a loud bang.
And Janae loves dancing. She's very, very flexible, which you will see throughout the routine.
I'm sure dancing comes much more easily to most girls than
it does. For me,
flexibility.
I'm not very good at dancing.
Me neither.
So my routine, you see bare minimum dancing, you see tumbling and jumps, and like. So she's doing front tuck,
Wow.
step out,
Very
round
well
off handspring,
executed.
handspring, step out.
You get deducted if you step out?
No, the step out, you have to do that, and if you kept your feet together, then you would have gotten deducted.
What if you step out of bounds?
You get a very big deduction. I'm not
Very
positive on the number. I don't want to give you the wrong number.
That must mean doing these moves
But they
right
have to
next to
file
the...
a report saying that you went out of bounds so they know why your score's so low. And now she's going to do round off handspring, handspring step out for her last pass. And then
must
very
be
pretty.
Very, very nerve-wracking not to do these moves right next to the edge.
Very, yes. Because you don't want to run too much. Because if you run too much, you have higher chance of going out of bounds, and you do not want to go out of bounds. That's the last thing you want to do.
Will you get extra points if you stop your move right next to the boundary, being all like, look at me, I'm dangerous, I'm right next to the edge.
No, you don't get extra points for that.
Dang.
You can get extra points for like bonus high superior, so like
Something special's gonna happen. We're getting a mat.
yeah, I think she's doing a double pike. So she's gonna do, I'm not positive this is her, but she may be doing 2 flips in the air at once,
Oh my.
which is a very, very tough skill. No one on Central has that. We did have that 2 years ago, but she's now in college for diving.
Ooh, diving. I
Yeah,
can see why.
a lot of gymnasts get recruited for diving because they are flexible, they
They are
have
able
the
to
jumps. So we should see what she has in store for us. The mat is normally, doesn't really benefit, it doesn't benefit in any way. You don't get deducted for having the mat. It's just more of like a security blanket for most girls.
Yeah, I think you don't want your girls getting hurt.
Yeah, and like it's just like a
You wanna
mental
take
thing. Like
every precaution.
2 girls on Central, actually 3 girls on Central use the mat just to make sure, like, 'cause they're so used to it and everything. So they keep the mat there, and it just makes them feel more confident in their skills and everything.
Well, she presented to the judges, and she's about to start. You have to do that at the beginning too, right?
Yeah, you have to present in the beginning and at the end. And let's see.
Very intense music. Sounds like something that'd be in the Terminator. Oh,
Now the mat is in her way, but she put it there, so she just did a round of handspring layout.
very skilled.
And now let's see what she does now after this.
She's preparing for something big.
She did a front handspring front tuck.
She looks like she slipped at the end, but
A little bit. The mat is slippery.
it's probably a risk you have to take with the mat.
It is. But the front handspring front tuck, it's a very good front skill to have because you do get a higher score because it is a back-to-back bonus.
Now, so how soft is the actual floor in the event?
Not soft at all.
Not soft
You
at all?
don't feel the springs that much, only when you're tumbling. So it's pretty hard
Wow.
because there's wood right underneath the floor, and then it's all
yeah,
the
I see
springs.
that. I thought that was part of the cloth.
Yeah. So now she's doing her last pass. It should be like a round off handspring. And then she did finish after her music stopped, so she will get deducted for that. And she will get deducted for not having 3 elements in her last tumbling pass.
Uh-oh. Here comes Trish.
And now we have Trisha from Hunterdon Central going. She is a sophomore. And this is her 2nd time competing varsity floor.
I thought it was her 3rd. I thought she did vault,
Yeah, she
bars,
did.
and
She did do varsity. This is just her 2nd time doing varsity floor.
Ah.
And she does have a very good routine. The music suits her very well. She did get a new tumbling skill, which we will see for her first pass.
I'm sure music choice is probably one of the most important steps in this
It
process.
is. It really represents your dance type, like your style. Like say you have a slow routine, you're gonna do like more like full turns and leaps and everything. But if you have more hip hop, you're gonna do like a bunch of flips or jumps just to like go with the music. Cause you don't want to like look like you're out of place. You want to look like you go with your routine. Like you want it to all flow. Because that's
Flow
what the
like a
judges
river.
really exactly. That's what the judges look for.
This is something that would start in in like a Halloween movie.
It does. It reminds you of that.
I'm quite
And now
creeped out
the judges, they're still writing down their scores because they're comparing and making sure they got all what she deserves.
Oh, we haven't been seeing the scores, have we?
No, not yet. They're still deciding on what they want for their scores. It's so nerve-wracking just standing there waiting to go because then you're overthinking everything. And when you overthink, that's the worst possible decision to do. But you can't help it.
Yeah, I tend to overthink everything. Like sometimes I have to step back when I'm doing anything and
Exactly.
just think.
You just want to keep an open mind and think about it when you're in the moment and when you have to do it, which is something a lot of gymnasts are challenged with.
Being up there and having to wait has to be an awful feeling.
It is.
Because that's when you start to think, oh, am I going to mess up?
Exactly.
I hope I practice this move enough.
And here she goes.
And she's getting ready.
And during routines, you can't play with your hair. You can't pick a wedgie. You can't be focused on yourself. You have to be focused on your skills. And if you do, you actually do get deducted for picking a wedgie or fixing your hair, or touching your face.
I guess that is not a good sight.
Yeah, now we're going to see Trisha's new skill, which is a round-off handspring half. Which is very well. And now you'll see the dance she does. This is where she does most of her jumps. And then her music starts to change a little bit here.
Wow.
But it flows.
I like this song.
And just her dance flows with her music. Everything flows together. Now she's going to do front handspring, front tuck, forward roll.
This music does seem to suit her very well.
That completes her 3 elements. And that was a back walk over splashdown.
Wow. Kind of reminded me of a dolphin there.
And then even in every skill, you want to have your toes pointed, legs straight, arms straight. And that was a cartwheel on her arms, which is not a high-level skill. It's just a cool skill to have in your routine. Now she's going to do her last pass.
Preparing for something.
Normally, you're very tired by this point. She's just going to do a round of handspring, tuck.
That looked like it was very intense.
It was, and now
She does look very tired.
you are very tired by the end of a floor routine. That was very good.
Being tired, she just took a
Good
nap.
job, Trish. So next we have Watchung going again, and their floor just gets better and better by each girl. So we should see what they
Very,
answer.
very nice performance.
It was. They have the mat again, and you have to make sure it's straight in the corner. Yeah, it's away from the corner as far as you need it to be.
You know, gymnastics doesn't seem like a sport that would take a lot out of you, but just watching it up close just looks so much more intense.
It's crazy. You have to have really good endurance, and you need to be able to even if you're really tired, you need to be able to do your skills to the best of your ability, or else you get deducted a lot of points for just being tired.
Now this seems like at the point in the match where you'd have to really rely on your adrenaline to keep you going.
Yeah, especially because floor's last and you're already super tired from all 3.
You've got a 7.8 and an 8.0.
It's a very good score.
I think that's for Trisha, but
It is for Trisha.
oh,
So now we should see what Watchung is doing.
and now she's standing. She seems to be doing mostly dancing right now.
So let's
And here she
see.
goes. Oh,
So she did do a round off
That sounded
1.5 front tuck, but she did fall, so she will be taking that deduction. But hopefully her other tumbling and dance can make up for it.
wow.
And you need a lot of strength for some of the dance moves she's doing right now. Like the one she just did, she has to have a very strong core to be able to slide down like that. Now she'll be doing a front pass.
Seems like you're gonna end up with abs if you can do this enough.
Yeah, she just did a front handspring layout, which
Right
is a
next to the
common
edge.
front tumbling pass. And now she's going to do her third pass.
Mentally preparing. And there she goes.
And she did do front handspring layout, front tuck,
That
and she
did sound
did fall. It did. But hopefully she can finish her routine off strong. And let's see if she can. Very good jumps, very well executed.
Wow.
She had a very good routine except for her falls,
Yeah, she had a
which
lot of
hopefully
falls.
she'll be able to improve on and practice.
That's probably gonna be a large deduction, right? 2 falls.
Most likely, yeah. That will hurt her and her team a lot because she was one of the stronger.
She's gonna go
floor
home sore.
specialists.
The way that those falls sounded.
Definitely, she landed
Those
right on
huge
her back.
bags.
And now for Hunterdon Central, we have our other senior, Bryn P. Fledger
Bryn.
Schweer. And she uses the mat for her half. She's been on varsity floor for 3 years, I would have to say.
And she was on the team during freshman year, right?
Yes, she was. She's been on the team since freshman year, and she's helped Central out so much, and it's just hard to let go of the people that have been here for a while.
Yeah. That's probably a bad feeling, even especially for the coaches.
Yeah. So
I mean, you've been working with these kids for 4 years, watching
and the
them grow and
coaches.
perform.
Actually, for Bryn's routine, one of the judges choreographed her floor routine.
Wow.
So it's
she's
very,
probably extra hard on her. She's like,
We'll
do my
see.
routine right.
So it's a lot of dance. It's very tedious. A lot of execution. It's all that matters is if you point your toes like straight. So we'll see what the
Very
judges.
form-based.
Yes. It's not really how hard your skills are. It's really like
How well
how
you
you
perform
do.
them.
Yeah. So here goes Bryn.
I would rather perform an easy move right than a really hard move wrong.
Exactly. That's what high school gymnastics is all about. And Bryn has very slow music, but she
Sounds
does her
like it.
dance very well.
Sounds like some very classical music.
Now she's going to do round off handspring half. She just got the skill last week.
Last week?
Good job, Bryn.
It's already in her show?
What was that?
She learned that last week?
Yes.
Wow, and she's already doing it really well.
Yeah. Once you learn something, it goes right into your routine. And her dance does fit her. She's always been into dance. And she just did a bounder, front tuck, forward roll, step out, which is not common. Normally people step into their front handspring, but she used both feet going into her front handspring. And now it's just her dance. She can catch her breath. And now she's going to do some cool round off. I don't
Very
even know what
slow.
term to use for it. You'll see it right here
Very slow,
after
very
this
pretty.
jump. Or she's not going to do
This
it.
music is very catchy.
Come on, Bryn.
All I know is today I'm leaving with something stuck in my head.
What was that?
All I know is today I'm leaving with something stuck in my head.
Probably. There's a lot of like variety for floor music, so like you never know what you're gonna get for like each type of girl. Like one girl could have like Irish music like mine, or like you can
Have what?
Irish music.
Irish music.
I have like an Irish jig for my floor routine.
Wow.
Or you can have like some hip hop, or you can have
Boosh, boosh,
jazz. You can have like movie, like there's a lot of girls from like the Jungle Book who have floor music from
Wow.
there. So there's
Didn't
a huge
expect a
variety.
Disney movie song.
Yeah, you can make your own floor music if you're like good with the music app.
Oh, I'm not.
You can like combine songs to make like the floor music you've always wanted. So. And now we have another girl from Watchung Hills going, so we should see her performance. Hopefully it makes up for the other girl's performance with the two falls. Hoping for the best for Watchung. So far, do you like gymnastics? Do you like watching it?
It's fun to watch. It's also pretty fun to talk about.
Yeah, there's always something to talk about. Like, it's very interesting.
Something always amazes me.
Gymnastics is just like a very different sport.
I think you could be like watching this for years, and then something will randomly happen every meet that you've never seen before.
Exactly. You never know what can happen.
There's such an abundance of
So
moves.
she has like kind of like a Mexican music in a way.
Wow. Wow.
So she just did a front tuck, step out, round off, back tuck.
She is
So
certainly.
she did meet one floor requirement.
She is certainly trying to make up for those two falls from her
Yes,
comrade.
and it's almost her responsibility to do that. So now let's see what this tongue pass is.
Running very fast.
So she just did front lay. She did a lay, but her last front tuck was piked a little bit.
Wow.
But she still has very good execution. Her toes are pointed, her legs are straight. She looks very strong. She's very confident, which is really all you need for a good routine. As long as you showed the judges they should be giving you the score you deserve, then. You can see she has a bunch of different
She's yet to
moves.
slip or fall.
She didn't slip. It's part of her routine.
Yeah, no, she's yet to slip or fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing very well.
And now she's doing her last pass after these jumps.
A lot of this floor routines happen on the floor.
Yeah. And now let's
Oh, there she
see.
comes.
And she just did a front handspring full,
Very
which was
impressive.
very, very good.
This seems like a sport of good sportsmanship.
What was
like, I mean, each team are applauding each other. It seems like very good sportsmanship.
Yes,
sport.
and the judges really look for that. They consider it a lot because having good sportsmanship just shows that you're not there just to win. You're there to support everyone, and you're there to do what you need to do. Like, you're not like, oh, I just want to win. Like, you're there to support your team. You support the other teams.
Winning is good, though.
It is. It's the cherry on top, but you don't always win. You don't always lose.
Yeah, but you don't get ice cream just for the cherry on top.
True. And now Steph, she is very, very good on the floor. She's also very flexible. She's a dancer.
And she's the team captain?
Yes, she's the senior, and she's also a senior. She's the varsity team captain. So you'll see like all her flexibility come into play.
I am expecting great things.
You'll see her very upbeat floor music that fits her. She's been doing this routine for as long as I can remember.
Well, geez, it must be good then. If she keeps doing it.
She's very good, yes. So let's see.
Raising her hand? Does that count as presenting?
Yeah, she presented before she walked onto the floor. It's almost like a sign of respect in a way for the judges.
Some nice jazzy music.
So now she's going to do a round-off handspring full for her first pass.
She's probably
Come on, Steph!
Probably trying to make up for the point she lost because she left her earrings in.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now she's going to do a bunch of dance here.
You have memorized these routines.
I do.
Very impressed.
She's going to do full turn, tuck 1.5. And now she's going to do her front handspring, front tuck, forward roll. She does have the mat there for her to make sure she knows she can do the skill, and it just helps her a lot. It was very good. She got a lot of height on that. And now she's going to do her, you'll see how flexible she is in a second. She does a split here. Come on, Steph.
She's got this.
And she's probably very drained by this time. She's very tired.
She's moving very smoothly.
So now we're going to see her last pass. And it's a run, a handspring layout. Come on, Steph.
Right. And there she goes.
And that was very good.
Wow, very well timed.
And see how she presented to the judge to say, okay, I'm done. So now I think we only have one more girl each.
I believe that was the fourth indeed.
Watchung may have one more girl after her.
Watchung.
But I know we still have Sarah to go for us.
The Watchung Hills Warriors performing a very, very tough challenge.
Yeah.
For the Hunterdon Central
One of
Red
our
Devils.
better gymnasts, Rada, she got injured
No.
She was warming up for her first competition, and she hyperextended both of her knees, and
that
she
must
was
have been,
crying.
Like, crushing.
Yeah, she wasn't crying that much, actually. She was very strong about it. She just...
That's
we still
probably a
have a
terrible
couple
feeling
more weeks
to be
so she can
preparing for your
compete.
first competition.
Yeah.
And then just injure yourself.
Yeah, and she's one of our better gymnasts, too. So once she definitely comes back, we're definitely going to be more on our game. Because now we've just been throwing people in to lineups to see how they can do as varsity or for JV. But it's been working out pretty good. We've been getting pretty good scores. We beat Bridgewater first meet.
Congratulations. I didn't know.
Thank you. And now we should see
should be
how
starting
our
soon.
outcome today is. Hopefully we have a positive outcome, but it's all about teamwork. Normally,
They've been very, very even scores.
yeah. Normally for gymnastics, like for club gymnastics, it's an all individual. So with high school, it's different because it's all your individual scores added up to make a team score. So to some girls, like the freshmen or the sophomores, they still don't understand that, like, it's not how good you do it yourself, it's how good you do it for your team.
That's how it works in wrestling too.
Oh,
Team
really?
score.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they every win gets added to the thing, but this is much more complicated of the scoring. Instead of just a set amount of points you get, it's like you have to total it up and
Yeah, so let's see.
find the average.
Watch
And she's getting ready. She's got a mat out. Oh. It sounds like something to be in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Amazing movie. Ooh.
So let's see what she does.
Whoa.
She just did a
That was
double pike.
impressive.
It was very
Now
good.
it seems that when the crowd starts cheering, the
That's
team
when you
starts
know
cheering,
it's
that's when
very
you know something intense is about to happen.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh. That was off timed, but still very nice.
So as you can see, she flows with her floor music.
Wow. Did not expect the beat drop.
Yeah, so you have to make sure you're go with your floor music and everything.
I don't think this belongs to Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
Yeah, she probably made it herself. She just did
Has
a
anyone on
lay-lay.
100 Central made their own music?
What was that?
Has anyone on 100 Central made their own music?
I'm not positive. Probably. So she does have very well, like, good put together routine because it all goes with her floor music. And her last pass should be something
This will
very
be a very high
special.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like she's setting up to use that mat again.
Yeah. So we should say probably gonna be a full, a 1.5.
That was impressive.
And that was
Looked
a
like she
very,
ended after the music stopped.
Yes, she did. That's not always a problem because she most likely did knock over 130. But now we have Sarah. She has very good
There we
tumbling.
go. She's doing all 4 events. Oh, she must be exhausted.
She is, and she's a freshman too, so she's still getting the hang of things.
Impressed. She's going to be an excellent senior.
Yeah, during tryouts she actually did have a concussion, so she's still getting over her concussion, but she's making a very good recovery.
That's a lot of...
Her jumps and leaps and everything are just beautiful.
So not only is she a freshman, she's a freshman on varsity. She's a freshman on varsity that's on all 4 events, and she has a concussion?
She had a concussion.
Had a concussion.
You're not allowed to do any physical activity once you have a concussion.
Fair enough, fair enough. That is amazing. How bad was her concussion?
It was only a mild concussion, so she was able to come back quick, and she's able to do more things than she was. But she's still in the process of getting back. She hasn't done all her tumbling yet. She still hasn't done like
We can...
her full potential.
Looks like we can rely on her for a very good score here.
Yes,
She's
we-
gotten one on each event so far.
Yes, she has. She's very good with pointing her toes, keeping her legs straight, and everything. So we'll see how her routine goes. I'm hoping it's a good one, and I bet it's going to be a good one.
Looks like it is.
Now the judges, they're probably discussing the girl's score because she did have a routine like with a lot of bonus high superiors, and
It's going to be a high score.
it definitely will
I'm
be.
anticipating at least 1.9, but I don't know.
Definitely. She'll definitely have a 9. It was just very well put together. Now you can see how nervous Sarah is. She can't stop moving. That's normally what you do when you're nervous. You just try and distract yourself. Here she goes.
Presented to the judges, and on she goes. She's got her mat out, meaning she's going to do something intense.
And Sarah loves dancing. She gets into her dance. You're right. It was a 9.
9 and a 9. Wow.
Come on, Sarah.
I should be a judge.
So Sarah's doing an Arabian here. Very beautiful.
That was an amazing dismount. Not dismount, a landing. I'm so used to saying dismount when they land on mats.
Yeah. The mat's just there to make sure she's okay. And now Sarah's music style is more country. It's called Honky Tonk Badonky Donk.
I like that name.
And now you'll see all her dance that she does. Come on, Sarah. She just did a front aerial.
Wow.
That's a very beautiful move. Just to add in to make your routine look prettier than it is. And now she'll do the front tuck, front tuck. Very good landing.
Very excellent.
Yes,
She's
she is.
currently exhausted, but she's pulling off these moves like she just woke up.
Yeah. Now she's on her last pass, which is round off handspring layout,
Here we go.
which was beautiful,
I'm
perfect
expecting
straight
at least
line.
1.9.
And now here comes her end. That was a very,
That's
very good.
beautiful.
So now everyone's done on floor, and now the competition's over.
Competition's
We just need to
over.
figure out our
You just need
scores.
to total out scores.
Final varsity score, Hunterdon Central 97.75, Watchung Hills 101.35.
All right, thanks for joining us on the Hunterdon Central Red Devil Varsity Gymnastics meet against Watchung Hills Warriors. Let's have a thanks for our amazing guest, Sabrina. She was amazing. It was very, very close. Very close. Well, a disappointing loss, but a very nice try. Yeah. Until next time, this is Justin Enon. This is Hunterdon Central.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.